Hey guys, so I'm going to be comparing the Fishman Loudbox Mini and putting that up against the Fender Acoustasonic 40. So I was looking for a small amp that I could put in my living room and just jam out, and I came down to these two. Both of these are in the price range of 200 to 350 or so US dollars, and they're both very highly known brands and already proving in the industry. So I'm going to be doing some samples, I'm going to be doing some strumming, some picking, and I'm going to let you be the judge, and then in the end I will also tell you what I think and my own preference on which one I like the best. But before that, let me introduce you to the specs of each of these so you can know what you're actually buying. So on the right we have the Fishman Loudbox Mini. This has 60 watts of power. It has two channels. One of the channels has digital reverb and chorus, while the other one only has reverb. As far as outputs, this has an XLR output so that you can put into your PA, for example. As far as inputs, it has a 1/4 input and a 1/8 inch auxiliary input. Other features that it has, this has Bluetooth connectivity, so you can easily connect to it when you're having a party, for example. The weight of this is around 20 pounds, and brand new it'll cost you $340, but you can find it used for around $200 to $260. And as far as which one's the loudest, I can already tell you that this one is not the loudest. It would be the Fender. So on the right side we have on the left side, sorry, we have the Fender Acoustasonic 40. This is 40 watts. It also has two channels, and it has reverb for both channels. The headphone output, this has a headphone output and an XLR output as well. And it does have a 1/8 inch auxiliary input. This will weigh around 16.5 pounds, and brand new it'll cost you $200, but you can find it used for around 140 or 180. And yes, this is a very loud amp. Even for a small house like mine, this is pretty loud. So on to the testing that I did. So I'm going to put all the equalization flat, which is straight at 12 o'clock on the guitar. I'm going to try to put the volume straight at 12 o'clock as well, and I'm going to give you a first test on that, and we'll start with some strumming first. Okay, so there's a small issue. When I compare this amp to this amp on flat equalization, they're definitely not equalizing in the same way. Maybe Fender just equalizes totally different than Fishman, and therefore I don't think it's an apples to apples comparison. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to equalize them and put the volume at the levels where they sound, where they can actually compete with each other, and they sound around the same volume, so that this is actually a more fair comparison. So let me do that, and let's do the strumming part again. So the Fishman equalizes fairly well, so I left mostly at 12 o'clock, except for the lows. I did push the lows up a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a boom, and the mids and the highs are still at 12 o'clock. The reverb I did turn down a little bit as well, just to not have it be distracting, and the gain I kept it at 9 o'clock. So this sound matches a lot more with what I saw with the Fender over here. So here are my preferred settings on the Fender. I'm gonna keep the volume a little bit lower than 9 o'clock. I did up the bass because the Fishman has a lot of bass. The middle I brought down just to not hear so much of a presence there, since I feel this amp has a lot of mid-range. And the treble, I bumped it up a little bit near where the bass is. And of course the rest doesn't matter because we're only using this channel. So from here on the test will be with this setting on the Fender, which I feel matches more the acoustic. I mean the Fishman here. guys, so it's another day here, and let me tell you about what I think finally about these two amps. So my answer is pretty definite. I prefer the Fishman. I feel that the Fishman has a much fuller tone. I feel that when I plug it in, it matches more the natural sound of my guitar. And I like how it's equalizing. It's actually equalizing in a very normal manner where you can put the bass, for example, at 12 o'clock and then reduce it and add from there. I do like that it has chorus. I like the reverb that I heard from here. It's not a spring reverb as in the one in the Fender. It's more of a hall reverb, but it's actually very nice because it doesn't add an extra layer. It kind of just fades out smoothly. Like I said, it has chorus. I really like that. And finally, this has Bluetooth. And I believe that's a pretty cool feature because I could put it, for example, in between rest periods if I'm having a small gig. Overall though, this has a really nice tone. The mids are there. It seems that the sound is pretty full and the highs are nice. A little bit shiny sometimes, a little bit electric guitar soundish sometimes on the highs if you are picking, for example. But you can kind of tweak it and get rid of those. The Fender, on the other hand, I was kind of disappointed. I don't like that it sounds like an electric guitar amp. So when I plugged it in, I didn't hear the sound I was hearing from my acoustic guitar when it's not plugged in. I was hearing more of like the amp adds a layer of tone, and it makes it sound like a Stratocaster a little bit, not too much. But it's enough for you to tell that it doesn't sound as full as the Fishman. The bass and the mids are kind of not there, and I just didn't like that tone. To me, the Fishman has a much fuller, more natural tone, and I feel that's what people look for when you're getting a guitar. Acoustic guitar amplifier. You want your acoustic guitar to sound like the acoustic guitar you tried and tested at the guitar store, and you want that sound to be amplified by your amplifier, not to add an extra layer of tone, which I feel it's happening here. Other than that though, I also did not like how it's equalizing. If you saw, I was actually trying to tune it and turn down some of the highs, some of the mids, just to match the fullness of the Fishman. And even though I tuned it like 6 times, I could still not match the fullness of the Fishman. So I don't like how it's equalizing for sure. I think Fender could do a better job at equalizing this a little bit better and actually make this amp amplify the true dry sound of your acoustic guitar rather than adding some layer of tone to it. The spring reverb on here is actually pretty nice. I don't have too many complaints. I do prefer the regular hall reverb on the Fishman, but it's not bad over here. One thing that the Fender does have is that it's easily louder. Even at the same settings, the Fender is much louder. So if you want something loud, this is definitely gonna be for you. But if you're more of a tone freak like I am, and you want just a nicer tone, the Fishman is definitely the way to go. Of course, Fishman is around $160 more. So give or take, you know, what I would do is I would try to find a Fishman that is used. This is actually a used model, and it costed me around $225, very close to what I paid brand new for this one, which is $200. So for the price, used, and if you can find it at a good price, definitely go with the Fishman. If you're a tone freak or you just prefer to have a really good tone, I definitely prefer the Fishman. If you need volume, the Fender's going to be your answer. Although you can just mic this on your PA, and then the Fishman is actually a better amp. So to me, pretty definite answer. I like the Fishman, but you know what? That's my preference, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you heard in the snippets that I recorded. What do you think? Do you think the Fender has that tone that I'm talking about, or did you actually think that it sounds better? Let me know. I'm actually very curious to read, because this was just me, and I'm curious about, you know, the audience that I will be playing for if they're going to be thinking the same as I am. And so this will be sort of like a small, you know, like a small test as well. So let me know for sure at the bottom. I will read each one of your comments and I'll try to post back any questions. But for me, I'm gonna actually return this and I'm gonna keep the Fishman. Maybe I will pick up an acoustic, a branded, I think the brand is just called Acoustic, and they also make acoustic guitar amplifiers. Maybe I'll pick up one of those. I did hear one of them. It sounded very close to the Fishman, and in fact, I thought at one point it sounded better, and it's actually a cheaper amp. So maybe I'll go pick that up, and I'll do the same comparison, and you guys can tell me what you think on that one as well. So stay tuned for that one. But for now, I'll stick to this guy. He's my best friend now. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.